through.
I can reach it. I can reach it.
Elsa, give me your hand. Give me your other hand. Elsa! Junior, give me your other hand. I can't hold on. I can get it. I can almost reach it, Dad. Indiana? Indiana? Let it go.
Happy New Year, everybody. And if you've been paying attention to the Veve app, it is pumping. Everything is up. The Todd has gone mad. It was, I think, around 3K maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Now it's at 5K. The Rizzos have gone insane. I think they were at 7-8K, and now they're at 14. Just unbelievable. And the Secret Rare Spider-Man, which I own, has gone from 20, and I think it was pushing $30,000. Unbelievable. So it's really exciting. And people are, I got to get this, I got to get that. And as you can see from my intro, I've got 3 different things for you today that I think you got to think about when the market is really, really cranking. Hopefully you own some things so you are benefiting from the pump that we're getting. But it's also a time, I think, to be very careful. And we want to watch some things. And especially people that are just getting in. I think you definitely want to be a little bit careful at this point. So let's talk about it. Okay, so the first thing I think is, maybe there's a specific collectible that you want. Let's just use the Carmine Robin first appearance, which was at 1,000, and literally within one day went to 2,000, so it doubled. Not even lying. And so now you're worried. You're looking at the mint. There's only 1,700 of them, and you're like, I got to get in. I got to sell a bunch of stuff, and I got to grab that one. I just think it's a mistake. I think when you start chasing things, and that's the first thing I have for you, when you start chasing collectibles, you're going to get burned. And the reason why is because it's exciting. They're pumping really fast. There's going to be some sort of retraction there. You're going to get caught in that. The worst, case scenario, of course, would be that it retracts way back. You lose a bunch, then you're selling at a loss, and it just creates this, never-ending cycle that you can't get out of, and really that's not where you want to go. So what I try and think of when I see things racing out of my reach, I always think to say, rather than buy, I always think to say bye-bye. I heard that from somebody, and I don't know where it's from. So if anybody knows, put it in the comments below. But once again, I always say bye-bye rather than buy when something's getting really expensive. It's very difficult to swallow that you might not be able to have one of the collectibles you always wanted. But maybe you will if you use a disciplined approach. But maybe you won't, and you have to be okay with that. Because if you break everything, all the rules to try and grab that one, sometimes it does come back to bite you. Now, once again, it depends on where you are financially. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe you have so much money, it just doesn't matter. You sell one of your Ferraris and, you get the Rizzo. I don't know. Whatever works for you. But for most of us normal humans, we have to practice some sort of financial discipline. And so I just don't chase. I try not to chase. Okay, number 2 is you have to come up with some sort of algorithm that you can follow, because the algorithm allows you to be less emotional. And I've talked a little bit about this on this channel. What I try and do is identify 5 NFTs that I understand their price action, their lows, their highs. There's lots of tools you can use. Obviously, use my website, veverank.com. There's, I have links to a lot of the collectibles there and comics. And you can use Ecomi Wiki. That's another great one where you can go and see the price action, the lows and highs over time. Look at the listing number, all these types of things. You have to work at trying to find an algorithm that works for you. And people have a lot of different things. But then what you want to do is use a small amount of money to test your algorithm. And one of the things that I like to say to people is try to make 15% a week. Now, normally that's insane. You want to make 12% a year on an investment. But we're in the Veve world, which is madness. So, and I can't even believe I'm saying this to a camera, but attempt to make 15% on your That's after those market fees. Be very careful with those market fees. Remember, the Marvel and the Disney stuff has 8.5%, whereas some of the other ones, like the black and white DC ones, have 2.5%. So you'll want to be careful of that. But so if you were, one of the collectibles I've been trading back and forth has been the Jokers and the Harley Quinn, which have really gone up. So I have to establish a new type of metrics for those particular collectibles. But understanding how much it's going to cost and trying to make 15% per week. That's what I have tried to do. Now, sometimes I miss. Sometimes I do better. Sometimes you can just hold. The value of the particular NFT goes up and you're good. You don't have to do anything. You can sit on it. And so you want to track that because of compounding interest, not to get super mathematical, but if you are week after week making 15%, I did some numbers here. So for example, if you started with $100, you made 15% week after week, 6 months later, it's $2,000. Incredible. Okay, let's talk about if you put in $500. If you put in $500 and you made 15% per week, after 6 months, it would be $10,000. Wow, incredible, right? And then if you put $1,000 in and you were very diligent about it, got 15% per week, that would be $20,000 after 6 months, which is incredible and why we've seen a lot of people have great success in the app. But what we don't always hear is a lot of people have lost money too. So you have to be careful. You have to be disciplined. And what you want to do is take a small amount of money, figure out your algorithm, figure out what works for you, stick with that, and then try and build on that. Now, too often I think we see people, even myself, that doubled in a day. I'm going to try. No, I think it's better to be more disciplined and try to get these, like I said, once again, 15% profit per week. If you could continue to do that again and again, you're definitely going to see some money in only 6 months. That's the last thing I have to say is we have to practice patience. I mean, so many times you're like, it's just, this Rizzo's going nowhere. But a lot of times, especially in collectibles, and I know from my life in comics, you have to wait 5 years. You might have to wait 10 years. I think about Ultimate Fallout 4, right? You have to wait a long period of time for it to mature, for the collectors to really understand that and to go after that. In the case of comics, a lot of times you're waiting for that character to be brought to the big screen or to Disney Plus or integrated into other stories. And so I've purchased many comics, and I am more than willing to wait 5 years for that particular comic to come to fruition. Perfect example of that is, I'll put a picture of it here, is Marvel Now .1, which is the first time Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel, puts on her costume. This has been a big character for many years, and this person is coming to Disney Plus. I have a bunch of that comic, so I'm excited for that, and hopefully I'll be able to see some profit. But it's also exciting, obviously, to have that comic too. And as I always say, I'll end with this, is that, we're all, in this specific one, I'm talking about the ROI and, you got to, making the money. But I think if you're finding collectibles that you really like and you're able to keep them for a long time, they bring you joy, you'll be able to put them in your vault and other things, I think you're not going wrong there either. So those are 3 things I have for you today. I really appreciate you guys. I'll talk to y'all soon.